can't go that way.
On my way to the hotel, the Morton gang caught up with me. I owed them money, a lot of it. I can't remember what for, probably some dumb gambling debt growing in size for each payment missed. I punched one of them out, and I sent the others packing. It was a stupid move. They'd be back. In greater numbers. I found it. In the hotel ledger, I recognized the handwriting of the signature, Ted Stryker. It was him. I could feel it. It was the kidnapper I was hunting. I put on my knuckles and hurried up to his room.
Something about that name, Ted Stryker, rings a bell. Feels vaguely familiar. I recognize this room, but I didn't catch up with them here. I must have followed them. But where? That's right, he was running away, ditching his old life and marriage in New Orleans to find something better in Tallahassee. And he took his daughter with him against the will of the mother. That's why she hired me. But I stopped him. I caught up with him at the Pearl River Bridge. Pearl River. This is where I caught up with them. This is what the Dark Man wanted me to revisit. But I'm still not seeing it. What am I forgetting? I can't go that way. Oh no, it was her all along. I can't believe I didn't recognize you.
I looked a little different back then, I suppose.
Was any of this real?
How do you mean?
This day, just... so much is happening. I can't... I think I've lost my head. Do you need me to apologize? I mean... I am sorry. I don't think I need to begin to explain. You're just a kid, Grace. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen.
Lies. More lies.
No, really. I thought I was being a good guy by handing you over to your mother. I didn't know. I couldn't have known that she wouldn't care about you.
I don't know how this works. What is this for?
Some form of admission of guilt. Maybe acceptance. It's what the Dark Man wants.
I guess we just watch my father die again then.
You think he's alive?
I know he is. He's down there, scared that he won't be able to get out. That he will drown with his daughter again.
What are you saying? We gotta save him!
We? Do it yourself. I'm down there with him, remember?
Can I really save them? This all happened so long ago. I have to find a way to get down there. I have to see it with my own eyes. There was a boat at the house where I entered. If I can raise the bridge, I should be able to get to the car. There must be a way to save you both, right? Why else would I be here?
Maybe the Dark Man just likes it when you suffer.
Don't worry, kid. I'll think of something.
I'm not holding my breath.
I can't go that way. This must be where the bridge is operated. Nothing's happening. It's like something's holding it back. There we go. I should be able to pilot the boat. I really hope she didn't jump.
My God, Carnby. Are you okay?
Don't leave me alone.
What the hell have you been doing?
What's going on here? Look at this mess!
I'm sorry, Mrs. Thompson.
Don't make me kick you out of this house. Now get out!
Hey, Detective. Mr. Carnby. I'm really worried about you.
I'm okay. I just need to catch my breath for a moment.
This place? There are some very disturbed figures around here. And I don't think it's just the patients. I've been reading some things about how Derceto has a deranging effect on people. I think it might explain things.
What?
Just take it easy, okay? I'm gonna go find a way into Dr. Gray's apartment. I want to know what he's hiding.
Emily, don't worry. I think I'm close. I'm gonna set everything right.
Just be careful.
Carnby had run their car off the bridge. He pulled Grace out of the sinking car, but left her father to drown. He could have saved him. There was time. He just chose not to. Instead, he took Grace back to New Orleans and collected his paycheck. Detective Carnby didn't recognize the bridge across Pearl River. It was firmly obfuscated by trauma, events that had left Carnby scarred for life.
I'm not going in there. She's clearly had enough of me. There's something missing.
I think Dr. Gray might be in there. Perfect time to snoop around his office, then.
It's blocked.
I don't have the combination for this. But maybe Jeremy did.
It worked.
The last guest in the empty room suffered from severe maladaptation. I must write this down, because if I understand the condition sufficiently, it could make me deny this fact at a later date, and there is reason for me to think I may come to suffer the consequences from this dysfunction, as some who came in contact with the guest seemed to adopt a new worldview in which everything was predetermined but broken. Upon accepting this worldview, some memories became unmanageable and later rejected. I do not know what this means. I cannot even remember the fate of the guest. I think they were simply misplaced one day and forgotten. Just like all documents pertaining to this guest, they have all been destroyed, or they never existed in the first place. Who wrote this? There has never been a guest in the empty room.
can't leave. I got a job to do. Dr. Gray's office, all to myself. Let's see if we can figure this guy out.
I have finished tidying up Miss Beauregard's belongings. I will leave it to you to contact her agent and have them collect her things. I found one of Grace's drawings she might want back, along with this key in her room, which I believe you've been looking for, Mrs. Thompson.
This is where McCarthy has hidden my favorite young. It's very important.
Dearest Dr. Manzetti, I find myself in a losing battle with my patient. As I've disclosed in my previous letter, his delusions have him completely captured. It's bad enough that he is torturing himself with paranoia, but his madness turns out to be quite persuasive to others, effectively laying the ground for mass delusion. I am writing to you in hope that you can give me some guidance. Beyond my ambition to avoid devastating surgery on my patient, I have grown worried about my own defenses. The words of my patient are deranged, yet they often resonate with something primitive within me. I have tried photographing his brain with X-rays. It was surprisingly difficult to get good results. Dark blotches on the plates kept obscuring all details. My patient looked at the bad plates and cried out in terror, telling me the dark areas was the shadow of the worm, eating him from inside. I could not see anything out of the ordinary. I hope this is a sign that my mind is not as receptive to the madness as I had feared. After further inquiry, my patient described the shadows inside his mind as some kind of chthonic monstrosity that wants to undermine his sanctuary. This is clearly a reference to a place he calls Teroea, a sort of library or convent that works as a psychological haven. With this imaginary haven threatened by this Chthonian, he has now constructed another, less pleasant hiding spot. Lately, he has been bringing up a metaphor of a steamboat that has run aground, that he feels like he needs to start the engines and reverse, but he is afraid that the hole in the hull would cause the whole ship to sink. I've been watching him turn this metaphor into reality for the last week. He knows it's made up, but he is doubling down, trying to make it a real memory. I feel certain that this is my chance to break through the barriers of his self-deceit.
Derceto stands on a breeding ground for the grotesque, a temple devoted to rebellious growth, the most ugly and cancerous side of nature. You may be able to shield your psyche for a while, but rest assured your soul will come to pray to that hideous god in time. That is the story of every man and woman who gather around that ancient arbor. They all croak, bark, and bleat because their own bodies are afraid and they wish to repel the evil those words conjure. Iya! Iya! Instead of that blasphemous name, they gossip in hushed whispers the name of Derceto, Astarte, and the Black Goat of the Woods.
I need the key.
Radiography. Patient Jeremy Hartwood. Date June 14, 1930. Plates. Jeremy's skull proved difficult to capture properly. Partial radiographs worked best. A complete picture of the brain can be assembled by piecing 3 plates together. Observations. Even when looking at an assembled version, a shadow covers significant parts of Jeremy's brain. Possible tumor, but more likely that the equipment is failing. Jeremy reacted strongly to the pictures and claimed to see a giant clay worm eating and displacing his memories. Notes. While this exercise has left me nowhere closer to an answer, I feel confident that a Burkhardt lobotomy should sever all necessary parts. Hypothetical psychosurgery based on the ideas by Burkhardt and the St. Petersburg research could end up saving Jeremy's mind. Severing the connections around the frontal lobe would certainly solve most mental afflictions. The procedure would be brutal in performance, as well as in efficiency. An ice pick pushed through the edge of the eye and into the skull would untether the nerves like Alexander cutting the Gordian knot. As this would likely leave Jeremy in a very different condition, all other paths should first be explored. The medical instrument I would need for this lobotomy is missing, and I should have Waits order a new one.
О, привет, Оги. Да, отдыхаю. Один в темноте. Как-то да, сегодня какой-то вечер одинокий.
Tell us what they are saying.
А ты как день провел?
Don't mind if I do.
Спал хорошо, надеюсь, кушал хорошо. Ну, ничего не делать, круто. О, привет, Алексей.
That's better.
Сейчас мы будем расставлять рентгенограмму типичного игрока в Destiny 2. То есть меня. Что только вверх и вниз разрешается. Да, интересно. Да, грецкие орешки. Мы выясняем, что не так с орешками. Почему они горчат. Пять кофе за день? Ой, ой. Полизал бы орешки, но фисташечки бы полизал. Фисташки круто. О, привет, Виндер. Так. Блин. Обидно. Что отказали. Я, короче, не знаю, как располагать эти снимки. Мне не очень много опций дают, но и не сказать, что получается что-то осознанное из этого. То есть подозреваю, что здесь что-то может быть ложное, а может быть верное. Например, ну, окей, этого хватило. Вот это орешек. Тут уже добрый доктор хотел Джереми лоботомию делать, но решил повременить, потому что потерял инструмент и заказал новый. Сейчас вот Была даже записка, вот. Ну и, собственно, да, диагноз. И тут, судя по всему, опять игра меня очень, ну, любит. Ну, вероятно, с этим поторопились. Короче, у меня, судя по всему, завис список целей. То есть сейчас я иду буквально просто в голове держа нить повествования. То есть вот стрим уже идет уже час примерно, и вот полчаса назад вот список целей завис нафиг. Так что такое, да. Нет, я завис.
Why does this keep happening? What am I supposed to do?
Привет. Бур. О, весло. Мне плавать надо. Ранее зарплата. Ну, были бы женщины, так сказать. Зарплату бы потерпел. А ведь бывает и нет, и нихуя не зарплата. Пердак.
And we're back here. Well, perfect time to have a look around this place.
Ух ты. Веревка для сушки. Пока взаимодействовать не дают. Сказать, смешная третья опция. Кучек мозаики.
What is that?
Так, ну больше тут осматривать нечего, кроме веревки для белья. И то ее нельзя почему-то осмотреть. О, я выиграл камень. Теперь мы убираем камень. Вот такие головоломки мне по душе. Но вот мне интересно, почему нельзя с этим взаимодействовать. Типа... Это так задумано или это игра заглючила? И что набирать? А, цифры. 6, 4, 1. В данном случае догадайся уже сам. Ну хорошо, комбинаций не... Ох, комбинаций немного. А, ну это прям самые близкие цифры к предыдущему. Кулон байонеты, да. Мне на самом деле хочется как-нибудь собрать всю трилогию байонета на свитче, пока продаются коробки. Но все никак не начну собирать. Трилогию. Так, ну... Перенеси меня в волшебный мир, веревка. Не хочет. Здесь пока нет выхода. Ну... Ага, вот спуск. Да все уже, не нужен стул.
This is where Jeremy's hiding, right?
Hello? Is
Мы
anyone
выбрали
there?
другое.
Jeremy?
I need help!
Wait. Can you hear me?
I'm stuck in the mud and the fire's taking
Jeremy.
me.
Where are you?
The motor is dead. I can't do anything more.
Hang on, Jeremy. I'll figure something out. I'll get the boat running.
А вот теперь отвисло.
Jeremy was called. Conby entered some new mucky dreamland of Jeremy's, a long-abandoned steamboat aground in the bayou. Jeremy was calling out for help, but Conby couldn't figure out where the voice
И
was
что же у
coming
тебя отвисло?
from. For a moment, Conby wondered if
штанах
the boat
кое-что.
itself was Jeremy, or if he was below it somehow. It didn't matter right now. Jeremy was clear on one thing. He wanted Conby to get the steamboat running and out of the mud.
В целом, когда отвисает, хорошо. Фартух, главное, чтобы не отвис. Ну да. Их вот могло бы вообще тело поддерживать оптимальный вес. С вот это вот ожирение, не ожирение. Наверное, было бы хорошо. О, есть круто. Я вот себе уже на завтра размораживал курочку. Да, круто еще, когда все вкусно. Хотя я как-то вчера попытался попробовать новый вкус Лейс, который увидел в магазине, и как, господи, как это было ужасно. Тертый пирог был на завтрак. Порция всего медпункта, но главное на здоровье. Ну и чтобы не обижали, что ты всего медпункта порцию съела. Томатный суп. Кастрюлю, пиццу. В смысле без кошек? Там какой-то отвратительный был мед с сыром или что-то такое. И
Wedged itself
Oof.
right into the bayou.
какой
If I get the
кошмар.
motor started, I could try reversing back into the river.
Меня кот недавно поел. Пришел ко мне и немножко покричал, чтобы я его посадил снова на кроватку с любимым пледиком. Погладил его, поцеловал и пошел дальше стримить. Ну, в целом, да, вкус как у подзалупного творожка. Возможно. Я не пробовал подзалупный творожок. Но мне не понравилось еще раз. Сильно не понравилось.
Jeremy, where are you?
There are many ways to cross a threshold. The easiest one is being invited. A door swung open, leading you inside. Another is sleep, hypnosis, or even sudden fright. There are those who fold spaces that challenge Mobius, or jump through angles that defy Euclid. If you learn to properly use your talisman, you could go anywhere. You wouldn't even need to rely on the fluttering wings of the shrieking Byakis.
Яички. Так, как мне пройти? Или это просто кладовка? Колокольчик. Колокол не звенит. Ну вот. Так, это я могу спуститься вниз, а могу еще спуститься на кухню. Посмотреть, что Кок приготовил. Блин, одышка у Карнби, конечно, как у меня. Тоже вот поел, потом дышать тяжело. хитро. Мне почему-то нравится, как скрипит этот корабль. Не надо анекдоты про котов. Коты клевые и милые, и пушистые. Так, наверху я почти все осмотрел. Да. М? Интересно, какой суп получится из этой креветочки, что убили? Том-ям. Котенок — это рекламная версия кошки, так сказать, кошка. Ну это хорошо. Хороший анекдот.
The artist spent a lot of time boating on the vast Lake Pontchartrain. Poetry, painting, photography. Everything seemed to become better by the shimmering water and the opalescent sky. One night, as the sailors returned to Darceto, they found a masquerade ball taking place. It must have been Perosi and Nora who invited their friends from the theater. The sailors quickly fashioned masks out of plaster of Paris and joined the festivities. They enjoyed themselves for hours before realizing time was not passing. Nor could they find their friends. As they began to worry, they demanded that the guests unmasked. But they could not, because they were not wearing any masks.
Так, это я, значит, просто нашел предмет. Обойти корабль тоже не могу. Это я назад вернулся. Хорошо. То есть теперь только прыгать в лодку наверху. Жив есть моркошка. Этой моркошке уже 10 лет. Я сначала прочитал про себя как морковка. Подумал, какая морковка. Зачем бороться с морковкой? Блин, а морковки вкусные же.
The winch is powered by electricity. I need to find a way to turn it on before I can use it.
Блин, ну теперь надо электричество включать. Где включается электричество? Может, конечно, все-таки спуститься надо в самый низ. Мгм. То есть мне надо как-то обойти. Надо мясо. Гранат клевенький. И я что, получается, зря обходил?
Weak. I just need something to break it.
Больше здесь нечего смотреть.
This definitely needs fuel.
Заливаем геймер фьюэл в геймер болт. Выходить-то? Ну что ли? Окей, не должно. Крепкие креветочки.
Whoa!
I'll try. Are you ready to tell me what happened in the attic? I put a rope around my neck, and then I strangled all life from my body. Are you under the impression that you died? Yes. No. I was supposed to die.
What does that mean? That you were supposed to die?
I'm the catalyst. I had to die to make the story happen.
What are you referring to, Jeremy?
30 years ago, Frederic needed me to die.
You're not making any sense, Jeremy. Come back. Find your focus.
Hey! I cheated everyone. I didn't play my part.
Hey!
I escaped my doom. My destiny.
Again, find
Hey!
your focus.
Hey, I'm right here. What the hell is going on?
Now everything is wrong. Nothing is in
Hey!
place.
I'm right here!
Calm down, Mr. Conby. What do you want?
Were you not talking to Jeremy right now?
I haven't seen Jeremy all day. Are you all right, Detective?
No. Actually, I don't think so. Well, maybe. I'm gonna go look for Jeremy.
Good. Let me know if you find him.
That was Jeremy's self-deceit? A steamboat stuck in the mud? I'm not gonna pretend I understand any of that. What a bunch of psychoanalytic nonsense.
The dark man. Jeremy was calling out for help, but Conby couldn't figure out where the voice was coming from. For a moment, Conby wondered if the boat itself was Jeremy, or if he was below it somehow. It didn't matter right now. Jeremy was clear on one thing. He wanted Conby to get the steamboat running and out of the mud.
Мне нравится эта статуя медведя. И это чучело медведя, не статуя. И теперь нам надо пройти в комнату доктора Грея. Судя по тому, как изменилась цветовая гамма, все уже совсем... Дом уже совсем сумасшедший.
Detective, am I glad to see you? Lock the door, will you? I don't think Dr. Gray would appreciate us snooping around.
What's going on here? This feels so strange.
Detective Conby felt removed from himself, like driving drunk. He carefully tried to navigate his environment. What the hell was going on? Was he finally losing his mind? At least Emily was here to call the police if he went off the deep end.
О, фиксированная камера.
There's a book missing.
Да, умерьте меня, Кальнер.
Have you found anything?
What? Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some things.
Okay. Let me know if there is anything you want to talk about.
You don't find this place strange?
Derceto is certainly one of the stranger places I've been to.
This room feels too real. Hyper real. More than anything I've ever experienced.
Okay. I don't see what you mean.
Forget it. I gotta get back to breaking the contract. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Да, интересно, как у Карнби плывет крыша. А этой женщины как будто ничего не произошло. Хотя, возможно, у женщины ничего не происходило и просто видит, как Карнби, напившись, так сказать, барагозит.
What did you do?
I was just rearranging the books.
Well, come on, let's check it out.
Музон клевый.
I think I'm beginning to understand. Dr. Gray is dealing with some kind of mass delusion.
Huh. Has that been there this whole time?
What were you saying about mass delusion?
Derceto seems to have a deranging effect on people living close by. It has a history of creating cults devoted to some nature goddess. Even the name Derceto refers to the cult existing here before the Civil War. Derceto was the name of an ancient fertility goddess worshipped in Syria. Dr. Gray and his friends, however, seem to prefer the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young, or Shub-Nigroth. And that name can only have come from my uncle's twisted mind.
You think all of them are in this cult business? Even Jeremy?
I'm not sure any of them have a choice at this point. We just need to find a way to stop all of this.
Это не кот насрал на ковре, это утюгом прошлись.
I've been so busy trying to free your uncle from the promise he made to the Dark Man. I guess I kind of just let everything else go.
Don't worry, Detective. I feel like we're close. I'm sure Jeremy will turn up. If he is part of the cult, he wouldn't want to miss the Feast of St. John. I just need enough information to make him see the truth.
I hope you're right.
И коты так говорят. Ну, пойду я спрошу своего кота.
Dark Man's got him hiding.
Good to finally meet you, Mr. Hartwood. I'm here on the behalf of your brother Philip. You were expecting me, weren't you?
Yes. You're from Derceto, no?
That's right. I just wanted to ask you a few questions to see if there is anything I can do to help you and your family.
Okay.
I understand you're full of imagination. You make up a lot of things.
I suppose.
And you obsess over them, blurring reality and fiction.
Sometimes.
Do you want to tell me about the Dark Man?
No. No, I don't.
That's all right. Perhaps there is something else you can tell me. Something you know to be made up, but you hold dear.
Juan?
John? Who's John?
No, Juan Luis Jorge. Oh, wait there a moment. Here, take a look.
Is he... Oh, he is the author.
It's a magnificent book. Life-changing even. The real Juan is long dead, but I like to think of him as my friend. My most beloved friend.
I see. Do you often do this? Fantasize about people you read about?
No.
Меня в школе учили на первой строке оставлять тире.
Where is Jacob?
Who is Jacob?
Turn to the last page.
Oh, it's a newspaper article. The Prisoner of Ice, Jacob van Ostad. Is he also your beloved friend?
Oh, no, Doctor. Not at all. He is the fire that fights fire.
Yes, I think it's clear your overstimulated imagination, this mania, needs to be tempered for you to live a normal life. I know your family calls it the Heartwood Curse, but I want you to know that there is nothing supernatural about your condition. It's all inside your head. And with that, I'm very qualified to deal with. In time, you will be cured.
In time.
Yes, in time we will exorcise all your demons, all the dark men.
Yeah!
Please, Mr. Heartwood, calm yourself.
What happened?
Oh, don't you worry your little head about it, Miss Heartwood. Your uncle and I just had our first breakthrough.
That mark on the floor looks like talisman positions, but from which direction should I look at it?
The Snake Dagger, a monograph by Yael Klein. In Ludwig Prin's book on pagan rituals called The Mystery of the Grave, as translated by Nicholas Vachy, there are several references to a sacrificial dagger called the Snake Dagger. It has long been thought of as a poor translation of the original text.
Но если это хентай манга, то да, фантазирую.
Dagger from the Latin vermis cultrum. This seems natural
Если это
following the
техническая
recent
литература, то не
the original
очень.
title of Prin's book, The Vermis Mysteris, should literally translate to the mystery of the worm. However, this would take away from Vachy's great effort at translating the underlying meaning of the words and revealing several cultural beliefs. While Prin certainly was using the term worm as a symbol or synecdoche for death and the dead, which is made clear by the contents of the book, in the case of the dagger, we shouldn't be too hasty to dismiss his translation. Reading through Vachy's correspondence with
Или
his
расхитительница
patron, it
гробниц.
appears that he had more than just the Latin text at his disposal. Vachy had dug up Prin's living relatives and uncovered several cross-referenced historical texts and an actual snake dagger. The dagger was dated to the early Middle Kingdom of Egypt and had such a clear shape of a wave that Vachy considered calling it the sinusoidal blade. Knowing the full story, it seems prudent that he chose to translate it as snake and not worm. There are several reasons why this choice of word helps us understand the pagans that Prin's book attempts to describe. The symbolic value of the shape becomes more apparent when reading about the use for the dagger. In the passage of possession and exorcism, we find the snake dagger poisons the poisoner within the victim and is therefore pacified. Where the literal text would tell us that the worm dagger trumps the demon possessing the victim, it tells us nothing of their reasoning. Only that somehow this dagger wins against the demon, like it had the better hand in poker. Vachy's translation allows us to follow the underlying logic to the ritual magic that is being performed. Poison the poisoner sounds like fighting fire with fire. That to hurt the demon possessing its victim, the priests would have to fight back with a power that is known to the evil they are fighting. The snake dagger is therefore not only a good way to describe its form, but it also helps us understand how it could be thought of as a useful tool for exorcism. Finally, it also helps us understand their relationship to lunacy, that it was thought of as something poisoning the mind rather than controlling it. What is also interesting to note is that the possessed are always considered poisoned in their head and not their heart. The snake dagger always went to the eye of the possessed, leaving them partially blind, if they had the good luck to survive.
Зазвонил телефон. Кто говорит? Клон.
Hello?
Detective Carnby?
Who is this? Jeremy?
Jeremy is with the Dark Man. You can't save him.
Well, I've done everything he wanted so far, and there's just one more thing on the list. I expect him to keep his promise and return Jeremy unharmed.
Get out, Detective, while you still can.
Detective Carnby wanted nothing more than to make sense of it all. But clearly, that was not in the cards right now.
Угу. Ух уж эти циферки. Так. Как это понимать? Типа стрелочки. Две стрелочки вверх и одна вниз. Так, такого. Ну, либо обращать внимание на эти символы, чертова. Подожди. Внешне на большом круге стрелка вниз, на среднем вверх и на малом вверх. О, Господи. Вот так. Но.
You okay? You look a little frazzled.
Just stupid telephone.
I know. I tried calling the police earlier. The telephone is completely dead.
It's not... Yeah, no, the telephone isn't working.
О. Шкаф. Ох, какая
Miss Harwood,
прогрузочка.
I think you're gonna want to see this.
Is there something in the closet?
Yeah, there is. You don't see the very obvious gate leading to whatever Jeremy's madness is serving up next?
I don't understand. Are you making some kind of fashion metaphor? I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. Can you just tell me what you're doing?
You don't see this. It's fine. It's fine. Catch you later.
Are you going inside the closet?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
No. Do what you think is right, detective.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Goodbye, Miss Harwood.
Не, шок. Нет, не вылезу из шкафа.
What can be said about Jacob van Ostad without evoking contempt or apologia? The first piece of information is the obvious. He is not the explorer Jeremy idolized in his youth, but the figment of his imagination. If you want biographical facts, I am not the one to answer such questions. In the case of Jeremy, he is a guardian of imagination, or rather a persona appointed the role of containing a self-sabotaging mania. However useful Jacob once was, his loyalty to Jeremy has slowly been replaced by fanaticism. Like a firekeeper who has for decades been burnt by his own sacred flames, now does what he imagines the fire wants. Jeremy has lost all control over Jacob and suffers greatly because of him, but is admittedly also still invigorated by his labor. In the plainest of words, Jacob keeps Jeremy sick so he can remain Jeremy.
We found the ancient stellarium perched on a cliff facing the Arctic Ocean after a day of sailing due north of the Eskimo encampment. Jacob van Ostad was our most keen member of the expedition. He had been chasing down the source of a peculiar type of crystallized metal present in several sacred items among the natives on the northeast coast of Greenland. The site was a remarkable find for any explorer, and we were all enraptured in our search for enlightenment and meaning. The surviving architecture seemed almost unearthly in origin and astonishingly sophisticated. The metal Jacob was searching for was abundant, almost ubiquitous. We were so taken by our find that we were surprised by the sun falling below the horizon. As we quickly picked up our gear, ready to head back to our camp, Jacob van Ostad declared that he wanted to stay. He was adamant. We begged him to reconsider. The night would be getting colder by the hour, and we feared for all our safety. Jacob refused, threatening us with violence if we wouldn't leave him alone. As the snowfall turned heavier, we left him there on his own. The next day, the weather became worse, and we had to spend hours enforcing our shelter as our tents became increasingly useless. The group had written off Jacob, thinking he must be dead. I had an urge to make one final attempt to save him, so I headed out as darkness fell with a handful of flares and headed toward the coast and up the climb towards the Stellarium. That's when I saw him, transfixed by a burning sky, that celestial lantern. Jacob keeled over and let out a painful shriek that struck me with such fear and pity. He was crying in agony, for the cold weather had ravaged his flesh. I called out to him, and he turned to face me. His vacant stare held me in place like a needle through a butterfly, and he said, "You must leave now, Heshtan. Go, and never come back." And so I left.
Так, сейчас я минутку тоже чай доделаю. Нет, только не пися. Все, иду согреваться. Пойду это погрею. Ха-ха. Короче, идем, куда глаза глядят. Интересно, замерзнем насмерть или нет? То персонаж так ход замедлил. Да, замерзнем. Так сказать, ради рофлов. Ну вот, пися замерзла. Да. Блин, это довольно далеко откинуло. Сейчас теперь вспомнить, что я собирал.
We found...
И, по-моему, уже... странно. Хотя не... Одно дело collectibles, а другое дело записка. Если вы по вечерам гоняете чаи, то по ночам чаи гоняют вас. Это правда. И не только по вечерам, в принципе, и днем тоже гоняют. Особенно на работе, если попил чаю. Дерни записку или за попку. Итак, подошли к какой-то горе. Так, это не сюда. И что делать? Вот что делать. Развернуться. Ходим, куда ветер укажет. Подгрузочки. Мы вернулись в лагерь. Хе-хе. Я-то подумал, что мне что-то надо сделать, а я просто глупенький. качаешь. Ну да, про папьё круто. Да, скидывайте жопу.
Hey, you! What are you doing here? What is this place?
Turn back, detective. You're not wanted here.
Oh, take it easy. I'm not your enemy.
Oh, you're wrong, detective. You're wrong.
Заливаем раны алкоголем. Прям почти всю флягу выпил. Так. Так, больше здесь собирать нечего. Просто хотел мне кирпичом кинуть. Ладно. Окей. Просто... Второй раз он крепче.
God's sake, stay dead, will you?
Давай, беги уже. Меня тут очень сильно замедлило.
Bullets.
Jeremy?
Лоботомировали Джереми, что ли?
Did everything! Aren't you happy? Stupid charlatan! What more do you want from me? You want me to lose my mind?
Oh, my lord! Doctor! Baptiste! Quick!
Jesus. What are you thinking, compadre?
Черную женщину побили.
You awake? You are awake. Mr. Conby's up.
Hey, buddy! I thought you'd be knocked out for the rest of the night. Come on out and join us, will you? I'll save you some gumbo.
Good to have you back. You gave us all a good scare. What happened? You had a psychological breakdown. Sorry for manhandling you, but you're being violent, you see.
You stabbed Jeremy and then punched Dr. Gray.
Are they okay?
Jeremy's a little strange, but everything's back to normal.
Really?
All thanks to you, combat. You want to try standing up?
Well, if it isn't the hero of the day. How are you feeling, Detective?
Never better. How about you two? Hey, Jeremy, I didn't do too much damage, did I?
Things are fine. Very quiet.
What's up with him? Painkillers?
No. You see, despite you having the finesse of a one-eyed butcher, you managed to lobotomize dear Jeremy.
I did what?
It's actually quite impressive. It's not like I hadn't considered it myself. I just wish Jeremy could have been helped without reducing his personality to that of an oyster.
But he's gonna live.
Of course. As long as someone keeps feeding him, he'll outlive the best of us.
Does Emily know about Jeremy's condition?
Yes. She seems to be handling it quite well under the circumstances.
Does she still want to take Jeremy away from Derceto?
I will have to insist that you do. This is not that kind of institution.
Jeremy, hang on for a little longer, okay? We'll be going back to New Orleans soon.
Oh, good. I do so miss the city lights.
Case closed. Detective, everything was back to normal. Did any of it really happen? What had Conby actually been doing all night? Case closed. Detective Conby had found Jeremy and brought him back to Derceto. He worried that Emily wouldn't be all that happy with his performance, considering Jeremy's impromptu brain surgery.
Нормально.
Maybe she would refuse to pay him in full. It was the kind of thought that would normally infuriate Conby, but right now he just felt happy to be back. No matter if he would be seeing the $150 or not, he couldn't wait to rendezvous with Emily and go back to New Orleans.
Кофе без сахара. Я пью кофе с сахаром. Я все пью с сахаром, поэтому жирный.
Hey, Ruth. Glad to see you made it back to Derceto.
You too, Detective. Make sure to stay for the festivities. It's no Mardi Gras, but it ain't bad.
You seen Emily around?
I saw her packing some things into that old jalopy you arrived in about an hour ago. I'm sure she hasn't given up on you yet.
Catch you later.
Looking forward to it, Detective.
А что за жалопе? Ну, я имею в виду не в игре, а на какую... Что за жалопе? Какая скидка? Это такое.
Good to see you back on your feet, Detective. Have some gumbo.
Ну, оставь ссылочку, я
Thanks.
посмотрю пока.
I'll save it for later.
О, а вот и борщ или суп.
Seems like everyone's in a pretty good mood.
The Eve of St. John is the most important date of the whole year. It's the only day when the black goat of the woods tends to her young.
I'm gonna go look for Emily.
Don't worry about her. She wouldn't leave without you, would she?
Так, хотел ссылку открыть, ладно, потом.
What are you looking for?
Just keeping an eye out for the storm. Radio says it could be a wild one.
You don't know where Emily is, do you?
She's packing some of Jeremy's things. Said she wanted to take them away. I'm sure she'll come and get you when she's ready.
Should probably get a move on then.
See you around, compare.
Все еще лоб не затеняется. Так, этим говорили.
That is one impressive tree.
More impressive than you could ever imagine.
So how does this all work? You dance around chanting? For the ritual, I mean?
Stay and find out, Detective. It might just do you good.
You haven't seen Emily, have you?
No, Detective. I haven't.
Но лоботомия у Джереми произошла нечаянная.
All right, tell me, what the hell's about to happen here?
Every year we have a little turn the page ceremony by the tree. It's symbolical. It's like life has its cycles of grief and happiness. You know? Just like a tree facing the seasons. Things change, but remain the same.
So this is basically New Year's Eve, but with a tree metaphor.
Exactly. You're so smart. It's about starting again. I mean, who could use a positive message like that more than a bunch of lunatics like us?
I get the feeling some of you think this year is going to be special. Any idea why?
Well, we got some new words, thanks to your buddy Jeremy, and some other changes to the program. Let's just say we're all in this year.
Hey, kid. What are you up to?
Preparing for the ceremony. I don't want to disappoint Mother.
What's your part in this?
I'm the Cabri Corn. It's very important. Only I can settle our debt.
You know, I had my doubts, but you are in the right place, Grace.
I think you might be right. For once.
Так, ну, со всеми поговорили. Вроде как. Уйти нельзя. Карта здесь бесполезна. О, ну типа все, финал. Подождем.
Everyone knows what to do? Y'all know the new words.
Mrs. Thompson, we talked about this. I'm not sure everyone is comfortable.
Doctor, I insist. This is important.
We've waited for so long, Doctor.
Let's just go with the old song. Not every change is an improvement.
Boss, good or bad, you need to move forward.
All in, Doc. Let's bet it all. But we don't know what we're dealing with.
It'll be okay, Doctor. Better even.
Ever there praises in abundance to the black goat of the woods. Hear us, Mother. Take pity on us. Take pity on us.
Ever
Hear
there
us,
praises
and
abundance to the black goat of the woods.
on us.
Hear us, Mother,
and take pity on us. Take pity on us.
Ever there's praises and abundance to the black goat of the woods.
Hear us, Mother, and take pity on us.
Stop!
Are you crazy? This here's what needs to happen, Carlton. Grace, stop! Stop!
Shoot the ground! Shoot the ground! Stop in the ground! Stop in the
Detective,
ground!
get my uncle out of here!
Jeremy, come with me! Get over here! Jeremy, come with me! Jeremy, come here!
No! There has to be another one!
Jeremy!
Не можем кинуть Джереми. Мы, так сказать, за ним и приехали.
I can't let that monster leave Derceto. I have to stop it.
Ну как всех скидала, да. Так сказать, не пришлось убивать культистов вручную. Тут, конечно, старались модельки нарисовать. Так, а куда идти? Куда идти? Мертвый Джереми. Ну, это... Сейчас скриншот сделаем. После стрима покажем. Просим экспертное мнение. Сейчас хоть отбавляй. Ну, в общем, план простой. Стрелять, пока не помрет. делать-то? А. Сигнальная ракетный цепь. Получается, что ли? Получается. Эти штуки принять. Ясно. Перезарядка. Не успел. Чертей-то. Застаночили. Ну, зато можно быстро перезагрузиться. Оу. Это далеко. Ладно. В целом понятно, как что с этим делать. В целом примерно все и развивается, как ужасы Аркхема. Мы всю игру занимаемся всякой фигней, а потом просто высаживаем весь арсенал босса. постреливать. Да ладно, ну, повелись-то. О, называется, да, хотите прикол? Я обнаружил кнопку уклонения только в конце игры. Окей. Это забавно. Это весело. Чтобы мне просто ничего не надо было кнопку уклонения нажать.
I'm all out of bullets.
Дожали. Это мой любимый. Ага, моих любимых автоматных патронов нет.
I'm all out of bullets.
Detective!
Oh, what the hell was that?
I tried to tell you. There was so much evidence. Their devotion to the Black Goat was like nothing I've ever seen before. I felt so dumb believing any of it, but I'm glad I did.
Are you okay? Everything is out of order. This isn't the way the story goes. I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
How are you doing, sweetie?
I kinda like it. You ruined everything, but I'm not mad.
All right, you ready to head back to New Orleans?
Come on, Jeremy. We're leaving.
Can I come?
I thought you said you didn't need saving.
Don't leave her. She's important.
Of course we're taking her with us.
Ей. Ну что? Очень даже обаятельная игра. Кривая, косая, конечно, но обаятельная. Так, надо бы это потом попробовать еще посмотреть различия за второго персонажа. Можно даже включить потом классические облики. И даже комментарии. Так, а если продолжить это... А, нет, это просто... Конец, да. Ну, Эшли, к сожалению, тут нет. Я просто посмотрю. Да, какая офигенная жаба.
So, your uncle. What's wrong with him?
He's possessed.
As in the devil?
Something like that. He says a dark man is following him, watching him at all times.
What do you make of it?
It's nonsense, of course, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me. You see, it runs in my family.
Possession?
No, Detective. Deteriorating melancholy. Practically every member of the Hartwood family is driven mad before they grow old.
But Jeremy didn't kill himself. Is that why he's at Derceto?
Despite being convinced that he is truly possessed, he decided to put his last chips on Dr. Gray and his psychoanalysis, figuring he might stumble upon some cure.
You mentioned the letter.
I received a disturbing letter from Jeremy accusing the staff and all the other patients of being involved in some cult. And now they are also out to get him.
Could it be real? Or is it all just in his head?
It's a story he tells himself, Mr. Carnby. Anything to avoid the truth.
Which is?
That we're all terribly insignificant. That people mean so very little to one another. That there is no one out to get Jeremy Hartwood because he isn't worth getting.
And here we are.
Он покакал. Ну, хорошо, что покакал, да? Прошли игру. Я вот запустил заново, посмотреть различия. Будут ли какие-нибудь? Может быть, уже за второго персонажа вне стрима так по-быстренькому пробегу, если различий не будет. В целом, мне еще последний интерес дособирать коллектаблсы, потому что игра же предупредила, что все коллектаблсы за одно прохождение не соберешь. Ну, если хотите, я могу еще раз постримить, так сказать, 2 раза. Просто если различий никаких, кроме модельки персонажа, то толку. Но и как эти анекдоты рассказывать?
It's so quiet. Where is everyone?
It's a big place. Maybe they're on the other
Просто
side of the
когда
house.
очень долго играешь в одну и ту же игру, она может надоесть. Я могу запускать вообще Destiny. Не надо, не буду запускать. Ну, то же самое. То же самое точки входа.
Surprised by her own reckless decision, Emily found herself breaking into Derceto. She mulled over how to present her story in case she got caught, but couldn't think of anything that sounded convincing. She wasn't much of a fast talker.
Игра про то, что мы приезжаем в психушку забрать своего брата, который сумасшедший, ему кажется, что темный человек за ним следит. То в целом оказалось правдой. Ну и параллельно еще в психушке все состоят в культе Шубнигурат. А если за женщину играть, то сразу пистолет дают. Да? Именно так, Ваги, именно так, сразу пистолет. Только ячеек у нас тут побольше. Также выдыхается. Да, потом щупальца. В конце именно были щупальца. Ну, это на самом деле прикольно, что они взяли просто Лавкрафта. Не как-то так вот привнося что-то новое, просто вот взяли как есть. И сделали. Вот смотрите, вот две таких глазюки из бочки стоят. Ой, смотрят. Да, кстати, это довольно серьезный противник в Древнем Ужасе. Точнее... Не, пардон, я путаю Древний Ужас и Ужас Аркхема. Я просто... Мне нравится Ужас Аркхема. Когда я собирался на столке товарищу, я постоянно просил его поставить Ужас Аркхема. Так, ну, то же самое, все те же самые головоломки. Да, мы уже знаем, что дерево разговаривает. Положи сосиску в темноту. Но, говорят, не ложи сосиску куда попало. А потом следует «Однако...» Мне нравится, оба персонажа лечатся алкоголем. С другой стороны, почему нельзя было бы сделать, например, что Карнби лечился бы алкоголем, а Эмили лечилась бы, не знаю, там, табаком? Ведь показали же в катсцене, как она курит. Это была бы интересная деталь. Да, вот в эту, кстати, комнате один раз побыли и больше никогда.
I'll just take this.
Да, вот это эвфемизм. Положи свой 5 рубль в мокрый бумажник. Ух, кокаином, да. Ну, просто, наверное, самое простое, что они могли бы сделать, просто модельку бутылки поменять на модель табака.
Every day your silence weighs a little heavier.
Холодильник. Почему-то в холодильнике пули из пистолета хранят. Кстати, я забыл, а где я как-то карту находил-то особняка? Потому что без карты я заблужусь. У меня ж память как у золотой рыбки. По-моему, она была где-то в подвале. Сразу же на старте. Или я путаю. Да, я путаю. Лестницы здесь еще нет. Кстати, интересно, будет ли как-то отражено в геймплее, точнее, оно должно отражено быть в геймплее, что у Эмили магазинный пистолет, а у Карнби же был барабанный. Да, о, великий, суп наварили. Еще холодильник, но в этот раз без патронов.
I need the key.
Карта, в общем, где-то не здесь.
Please do not touch the board.
А,
That
да.
doesn't look safe.
Только обнаруженная кнопка уклонения. А это мы еще проверим.
I need the key.
Sunday, June 22nd. I spent all...
О, а вот и карта.
What's this? I need the key. I need the key.
А наверху, по-моему, все тоже закрыто пока что.
It's wet shut. It looks important.
The Great Depression.
I need the key.
Ну, в общем, да, пока нечего ловить тут. В плане того, что все предметы, нужные для прохождения, будут выдаваться чуть позже.
Wait, don't.
Excuse me? Do you know where I can find Jeremy Hartwood?
Of course not.
McCarthy, what are you doing? I told you not to lose sight of the girl.
Don't you worry, Mags. I'll find that little rascal.
Who are you people? What are you doing here?
I'm sorry about all this, but I'm looking for my uncle. His name is Jeremy Hartwood.
What are you doing, child? You shouldn't be alone. Go find McCarthy.
Who are you? Are you here for the Fay Dodo?
Go upstairs now.
My name is Emily Hartwood. I'm the niece of Jeremy Hartwood. This is Detective Carnby.
The police? Why are you here?
No, I'm a private investigator. Sorry to bother you. My client's worried about her uncle. He's a patient here at Derceto. If you don't mind, could you direct us where to find him?
No, I can't. Jeremy has gone missing. If you leave your information, I will make sure to contact you.
Wait, he ran away?
No, he won't leave the house. He's around here somewhere, and both of our orderlies are looking for him.
That's unacceptable. Where's Dr. Gray? I want to speak with him immediately.
Fine, I'll ask him. Wait here and don't touch anything.
Do you want to see Jeremy's room?
Can you show us?
Follow me.
Не, ну разница в катсценах есть. В плане том, что когда был Карнби, Карнби так на наглую пошел. А тут не совсем.
Thank you. Strange kid.
Let's look around, see what we can find.
What kind of stuff are we looking for? I've never been part of an investigation before.
Letters, diaries, receipts, all sorts of notes.
I've read about police analyzing teeth marks and blood samples and fingerprints to find criminals. Is that something you can do?
No, that sounds more like the way the Bureau of Investigation does things. But, you know, if you do find teeth or blood, it's still worth mentioning.
We should talk to Dr. Gray when we're done here. He is the one who runs the hospital. He must know something about what's happened.
Yeah, I just want to get a feel of what we're dealing with here first.
Of course.
Every night the dark man stands open.
Have you ever seen anything like this? Looks like a talisman.
You mean like this one?
Can you find me a knife to cut the canvas? I want to take this with me.
You want to take the painting? Sure, I'll find one. I found this tube as well. Should keep it safe for you. Do you want to carry it or should I? Miss Hartwood? Emily?
I'll take it. Thank you.
We're done here, right?
I'm not sure. I don't know how to do any of this.
Listen, I think we should talk to Dr. Gray. He must know something about what's going on around here.
Okay. Let's do that.
Тут Эмили какая-то вся неуверенная.
Come on, I don't want to be here all night.
Когда играли за Карнби, сразу показывали, что она знает, что делать, и там все такое.
Detective Carnby? Where did... What on earth is happening? What is this place?
второй исчез. Ну. Кстати, девушка бежит быстрее.
This can't be.
Emily, is that you?
Baptiste?
How'd you get here?
I was back at Derceto. Looking for my Uncle Jeremy?
Jeremy's your uncle. I didn't know.
Why would you? You're still working at Derceto?
Yeah, both me and Lottie stuck around. We're real orderlies now. You remember my sister Lottie, don't you?
What happened, Baptiste? How are we here?
You know about the dark man haunting your uncle?
I'm familiar with his mental state.
I think we all in his head somehow. Cause these streets are real, but they're not like on any map. Nah, this is like when you remember something, but in the wrong way.
Do you know how to get back to Derceto? I'm not safe here.
Truer words have yet been spoken, Mrs. Marcus.
Don't call me that. It's Miss Emily Hartwood. There's no reason to call me anything else.
I'm sorry, Miss Emily. I'm just trying to tell you like it is. This place ain't safe for no one. There's evil hiding in the dark.
How do I get back?
Only Jeremy knows how. He has this juju necklace guiding him.
You mean this talisman?
Mm-hmm. Just like it. He says it's been protecting him ever since he got it from Miss Jackson down the street.
You know where it came from? Have you been there?
I was there no more than 1 hour ago looking for Jeremy. Locked it up to keep the ghouls from getting inside. You can have the key if you want.
Thank you. I'll take a look.
Stay safe, miss.
Да, касцена другая.
Are you staying here?
For a while. Want to see if Jeremy shows up.
Your sister. She also works at Derceto?
Yeah, she the one who got us jobs.
Be careful, okay?
You said it, miss.
Now what's this?
My weapon broke!
I can't go that way.
Можно еще, кстати, комментарии включить разработчиков. Стоять, слушать, как они там пытались изобрести велосипед. Вот комментарий.
I always wanted to incorporate more of voodoo culture because I think it's a really exciting element that's related to New Orleans and, of course, the Caribbean. And we see a little bit of that here. We find a courtyard decorated on the basis of voodoo temples. Mainly, the most recognizable part is the veve, this sort of pattern that they use. Yeah, I think it was an exciting element that I wish we could have worked even more with.
This must be Miss Jackson's place. Let's see if we can find out more about Jeremy's talisman.
Ого, сколько комментариев.
We knew early on that we wanted to make something special with the talisman to both pay homage to the original game, but also to get a cool item for the player to. It ends up being a way to open up gates to other worlds. Our talisman looks quite different. It's updated, but we still kept a lot of the design of the original for an item called the toy talisman that you can find later in the game as well, that is used to activate hidden ending.
Remember the toad in the beginning? The one getting eaten by an alligator? That would be Miss Jackson's toad, which got lost. Remember the toad in the beginning? The one getting eaten by an alligator? That would be Miss Jackson's toad, which got lost.
Я не пойму, какой жабе, утерянной жабе он отсылает.
Miss Jackson's seance room is the oldest surviving room in the production. It was a part of what was called a proof of concept that was done during 2019. And yeah, I think it's a neat place, but for us developers, it's probably more dear than to the regular player.
Oh, I recognize this talisman. We had almost the same in the first version of the game. And this talisman is quite a special item because it is animated. Not all items you can find were animated, but this one was special because you need it at the end of the game to defeat the sorcerer. That's what he got this special treatment.
It looks exactly like Jeremy's talisman. I think it's meant to hold the talisman. I'm not sure what numbers I should use. Maybe there's something in Jeremy's notes. What's that picture in the glass? Where is that?
Good to see you again, Miss Hartwood. Mrs. Thompson told me you were here. She also alerted me that you brought a detective with you. I'm very curious to hear what this is all about. You don't remember me, do you, Miss Hartwood? We met at your family's house in the Garden District, when your uncle was about to be admitted under my care.
No, I remember. Sorry. I'm not really feeling well.
Oh, well, in that case, have a seat. Let me make you a drink. I don't seem to have made much of an impression on you. On the other hand, I can vividly recall you and your parents.
Because of our cheerful disposition, I'm sure.
You are far too intelligent to think that. You come from a joyless family, Miss Hartwood. The only amusement I took from my visit was discovering that the young lady's drink was an old-fashioned.
Very astute. Is that supposed to make you seem attentive or intelligent?
Whatever you prefer. Are you ready to tell me why you are here, Miss Hartwood? And why you brought a detective?
I received a letter from my uncle. He seemed certain that he was in danger here. If I find out you're treating him badly, I'll be taking him back with me to New Orleans.
Really? Is he going to live with you in your tiny garçonniere? That would be a spectacular way to ratify your spinsterhood. Because you are well aware that your father would never let him back in his house. No, I have it. Maybe you can bring him back up north. You've been wanting to move back for quite a few years, haven't you? You always preferred your mother's side of the family. Jeremy is free to leave with you. I won't object. However, there is one problem, as you might have learned. He is, in fact, missing.
Do you know where he could have gone?
No, I'm afraid I don't. I have my staff looking for him. I'm sure he will show up eventually, especially if he learns that you are here. He is quite fond of you.
What can you tell me about his condition? I never heard a proper diagnosis. What is your medical opinion of him?
Well, let me think. He is an anxious man, depressed, even. He suffers from a perceived lack of order in his inner and outer life. He constantly complains about events not presenting themselves according to their divine nature.
And the Dark Man?
Hard to tell if it was ever anything specific. Jeremy uses the Dark Man as a psychological scapegoat to avoid facing the truth that he is in any way at fault.
You don't think there can be any truth to the Dark Man's supernatural existence?
Why would you ask that?
Can we ever be sure?
If the Dark Man is some sort of evil presence that is in possession of Jeremy?
Well,
I assure you, any evidence that you experience supporting that claim is purely delusional. Don't get caught up in mass hysteria, Miss Hartwood. You wouldn't want to take your uncle's place in this hospital, would you?
I'll be leaving now, Doctor. I need to keep looking for my uncle.
Do so, Miss Hartwood. I'll let you know if he shows up.
Окей, да. Диалоги совершенно другие. Ну, нормально. Придется по второму разу проходить.
Detective Carnby. God, I'm glad to see you. I was afraid you had left.
Me? You're the one who just disappeared.
It's hard to explain. I think I blacked out. It was like I went somewhere else.
It's okay, miss. You're clearly upset.
No, I don't know what's happening.
Нормальная
It's a
музыка.
very stressful situation for you, I understand.
Ugh, no,
И
you don't
неспорно.
understand.
Take a deep breath. Why don't you sit down, smoke some of the Perique? If you want, I could even drive you back to New Orleans. I just want to have a talk with Dr. Gray first.
I want to stay. I found a talisman just like the one in the painting. I think I might be able to figure out where Tarawea is, where Jeremy wanted to go.
That's great. Just stay out of trouble, okay? Let me handle the investigation.
I'm not crazy, Detective. Not yet.
Okay, catch you later.
If a talisman like this can open up doors between the French Quarter and Derceto, then maybe Jeremy is hiding in some strange other world, like Tarawea, the place he mentioned in the book. No matter where he is, it's clear that my search won't be limited to Derceto.
One of the most important clues you find in this room is the newspaper, which both talks about the era, which is, of course, the 1930s, the Depression, and we also learn about the place that we're in Louisiana with talk of John's Eve and the voodoo and the cults. We sort of set up that whole notion of that this is something that will come later. But we also present Cassandra Beauregard, which is our narrator and one of the guests here at Derceto.
To help guide the player to see which key fits a lock, we try to incorporate some common design denominators on both the lock and the key. And hopefully it makes it easier for the player to see, and at the same time keep it very grounded in the era.
Окей.
A lot of the colors you will see in the game is inspired by the original game, and that's why we have this earthly and a lot of green colors. It's an homage to the original.
Yael Barrows, the original artist of the game, who did choose the color palettes, likes a lot the color of the games now, because she used to say that she draws with old colors, and the games is full of old colors.
As we begin Chapter 2, we allow the player to move a little bit more freely around Derceto and discover more of it. Of course, they start off mostly locked off, but you're able to unlock most of it and get a better sense of what the house is. But of course, we're also keeping some of it a secret for Chapter 4.
The original game was a kind of an early open world. Once you discover a new room or a new floor, you can go back to it. It was not used a lot in the game, but you can.
When we talked about how we should fill up the second floor foyer, we discussed ideas such as a billiard table or some other kind of leisure props, but we went for adding these nightmarish statues you can see here, which is made or sculpted by Jeremy. And they are heavily inspired by Giacometti, Alberto Giacometti.
What's that stain? Looks like some kind of rot.
If you play the original game as Emily Hartwood, the opening text will say, "That creaking old mansion with its unusual tales, its secret library door, the ancient upstairs clock." So the ancient upstairs clock became this puzzle item. And this is pretty much how a lot of the important things in our game came to be. Basically looking at something that was mentioned or featured in the original game and then blew it out of proportion and made something new with it.
And actually in the original game there was a clock that you need to push to discover an item, like in the first Resident Evil, by the way.
This must be the clock mentioned in the Commonplace book.
So here we have the first puzzle disc, which is made in Japanese style called kintsugi, which means golden repair, which we thought was pretty picturing for what we wanted to tell with the plate. The golden relief or the repair creates the star sign Taurus, which is something Mike will talk more about in the lore. But it's a very important part of the game.
Короче, нормальные черти.
Jeremy's room. All back to normal.
Emily's here.
You will find a lot of masks throughout the whole game. You can find them in Jeremy's room, and of course Grace is making one for Ruth. This is an important item or ID, the idea that everyone is wearing masks in some way, especially the people at Derceto. They all have secrets and they don't want to share everything. So they put on masks, hide their true selves. And of course, it's a very clear metaphor. But for all the Lovecraftian nerds out there, it's of course also a very, very clear clue that we're dealing with Nyarlathotep, which in our game is sort of, he uses the Dark Man or the Black Pharaoh, that type of avatar. And that's how he carries on the dialogue with Jeremy and how he also, of course, mentally tortures him.
Да, это я включил комментарии разработчиков. Уже я подумал, что третий раз, наверное, я не выдержу проходить чисто ради комментариев. Хотя в теории, раз тут немножко различаются ситуации, диалоги, то, может быть, за Эдварда и за Эмили как раз и разные комментарии могут быть.
For Baptiste's room,
Да,
we
сейчас
went
давай
with
дослушаем.
really
И
rough partner.
завершусь.
And because he is a big guy, he's very practical and stoic, and he also likes to box a lot, and he has his leisure things. He reads his magazines, listens to his radio, and smoking cigars. And yeah, so we try to get that going in his room.
Ладно, да, сегодня пока я уже завершусь, потому что поздно уже, пора спать. Ладно, последняя комната.
I need the key. I need the key.
Ну да, все. Пока что это все, что мы можем исследовать, не решая головоломку. Ну, в общем, да, игра клевая, очень обаятельная, хоть и кривоватая в плане того, что много всяких, ну, типа косяков анимации и графических косяков геймплейных. Но нормально. Я, так сказать, поддержу потом разработчиков. Да, не пейте молоко черной козы, иначе пальцы отрастут. Не в том месте. Да, я уже сохранился. Все, всем спокойной ночи. Всем пока. И да, главное, чтобы кошмарики не снились.